Niger State government receives 100 students kidnapped from St. Mary Catholic School in Papere in Aguara local government. Normalcy returns across Benin Republic as Nigeria receives accolades for swift response to defend legitimate governments. Federal government targets productive economy through youthful engagement. Hello and welcome to the late evening news at 11 on NTN News 24. We're reaching you live from Abuja. I am Comfort Fashion. Niger State Governor Muhammad Umaru Bago has received 100 students and pupils kidnapped from St. Mary Catholic School Papere in Aguara local government area, assuring the release of those still in captivity. Representative of the federal government who rescued the abductees, Wing Commander Abdullahi Dari, formally handed over the children to the state government. Hussaina Musa reports.
The release of the abductees was as a result of intense and coordinated operation conducted by the Office of the National Security Advisor, Department of State Security Services, and the Armed Forces, as well as other security agencies. The feat deepens the federal government's resolve to protect the lives and livelihoods of the citizens, even as it provides short protective measure in high-risk areas.
We are implementing immediate short-term protective measures in high-risk areas, while concurrently working with state government, traditional and religious leaders to develop lasting community-based security solution. For education, it will not be casualty of violence. We will continue to pursue policies and operations that restore confidence. We will open schools safely and ensure that the right of every Nigerian child to learn in safety is upheld.
We wish to recover the remaining students that are still in captivity, and by the grace of God, in a very short time from now, we're going to record it, inshallah. I want to reassure parents and guardians of these children that will be safely delivered to them very, very soon. We have called on medical health workers to come and look at them. They will be checked properly and before taking them back to the parents. We're working closely with CAN to make sure that they are safely returned back home.
The release of the 100 abductees 17 days after the kidnapping brings relief to some parents, but uncertainty and anxiety persist for families of those still in captivity, including their teachers, highlighting the need for continued efforts to secure their safe return. Emena Hussaina Musa, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has welcomed the return of 100 Catholic students and charged security agencies on safe return of others. The President, in a statement by his Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, commends the security agencies for their tireless efforts in securing the freedom of the 100 students of Papere Catholic School in Niger State. While expressing his joy over the safe return of the students, President Tinubu equally charged the security agencies to ensure the swift release of the remaining 115 students and their teachers who are still held hostage. President Tinubu assured the parents that both the federal and the Niger State governments are working closely to reunite all the abducted students with their families. The President also charges security agencies working with the governors must prevent future kidnappings. Our children should no longer be sitting ducks for heartless terrorists intent on disrupting their education and subjecting them and their parents to unspeakable trauma, President Tinubu said. In the meantime, peace advocate and intelligence expert John Meche has expressed hope that Nigeria is on the path to ending insecurity, saying the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu should be commended for his strategic brilliance and uncommon resolve. Meche described the Nigeria Forest Security Service Special Guard Initiative, championed by the NSA, as a panacea to the country's recurring insecurity. He argued that the missing link in Nigeria's security architecture had always been the absence of a professional forest security system, adding that Ribadu's deployment strategy was the most robust intervention Nigeria had seen in 2 decades. He said forests are always a potential breeding ground for terrorism. If you do not dominate the forest, you cannot defeat criminals. The NSA has now taken over that domain, and that is why this menace will stop in a matter of months. On Enugu State's move to deploy 1,000 guards, Meche said if every state keys in, insecurity will be defeated faster than expected. The Forest Guard Initiative is a game changer. Traditional policing in urban-based forests requires specialized tactical units, while efforts are ongoing to expand Nigeria's policing capacity. The immediate intervention needed now is robust training, equipping, and deployment of motivated men of the NSA's Forest Security Service Special Guards. Drones, satellite tracking, and night operation units are already being integrated, going by available information. President Bola Tinubu this Monday met with 6 state governors from across the country. The governors are Monday Opeyolo of Edo, Umar Namadi of Jigawa, Nasir Idris of Kebbi, Ahmed Ododo of Kogi, Lucky Aidatiwa of Ondo State, and Ahmed Aliyu of Sokoto. The meeting lasted about 40 minutes behind closed doors. Though detail of the meeting was not disclosed, our State House correspondent, Musbaudan Wahab, reports that it came as the President continues consultations on how to strengthen security across states of the Federation. The federal government just secured the release of 100 out of the students kidnapped by bandits in Niger State, following the earlier release of those taken away in Kebbi State. Vice President Kashim Shettima was among African leaders that witnessed the inauguration of President Alassane Ouattara as the re-elected leader of Côte d'Ivoire for the 4th term in office. A State House correspondent, Abdurrahman Jabrila, reports that the Vice President also met with World Bank Director of Operations, Anna Bieder, in Abidjan.
African leaders in Abidjan, alongside other prominent personalities from across the world, to witness the inauguration of President Alassane Ouattara of Côte d'Ivoire for the 4th time in office. Vice President Kashim Shettima witnessed the event, representing President Bola Tinubu at the Presidential Palace in Abidjan. Alassane Ouattara was re-elected for a 4th term in office on October 25, 2025, as President of Côte d'Ivoire, a West African country that shares cordial diplomatic ties with Nigeria.
Toutes les personnes et toutes les institutions qui ont travaillé.
President Alassane Ouattara promised to extend on his legacies for the well-being of his citizens and democratic governance, as well as strengthen diplomatic relations among nations. Nigeria and Côte d'Ivoire have collaborated significantly within ECOWAS and the African Union, especially on security and trade. Meanwhile, the World Bank has applauded the reforms policies of President Tinubu's administration, pledging to heighten its partnership with the nation on energy, job creation, and gender empowerment initiatives. The global financial institution stated this in Abidjan when Vice President Kashim Shettima received in audience the Managing Director Operations of the World Bank Group, Ms. Anne, on the sidelines of the presidential inauguration.
This is why we are focused on investment in human capital, on gender empowerment initiatives, investment in the digital economy, and of course on agriculture for enhanced productivity. This way it will be a win-win situation. The early childhood development program, there was a study done in Peru, while the gray matter infrastructure of a young child who is well-fed and a malnourished child were compared. Those stunted kids are permanently disabled for life.
The Managing Director Operations of the World Bank Group, Ms. Anne, commended Nigeria for taking pragmatic initiatives to position the country on the right path, noting that the World Bank is willing to partner more on energy and enhancement of the girl-child education in Nigeria. From Abidjan, Abdurrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
The federal government has promised to harness the nation's dominant population, the youth, through adequate support as necessary manpower to sustain the implementation of its policies, which are geared towards building a secure democratic society. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, represented by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, at the unveiling of My Nigeria, My Responsibility project at the State House, reassured that the administration principle remains unchanged to help nurture responsible and useful citizens. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
This event demonstrates the successes being recorded in transforming the youth and showcase their determination to remain critical partners in advancing purposeful governance. The president represented says his administration is intentional in reigniting patriotism through responsible citizenship, as evident in the administration's journey so far.
When you pay your fair share, you are directly investing in the school your child attends, the road to your businesses, and the security that guards your homes. That is the essence of My Nigeria, My Responsibility. Today, the NELFON has brought into active beneficiaries over 600,000 Nigerian students. Over 120 billion naira has already been expended in just less than 2 years. Just imagine what this will do at the end of the first term of this administration.
The Birth of My Nigeria, My Responsibility campaign is an initiative for value reorientation among the people.
From today, you have to ask yourself, what is my responsibility to my nation? Once you do that, you see a clear pathway to national rebirth and national consolidation.
The government has its own responsibilities, institutions have their mandate, but the soul of any nation is carried by its people. When citizens embrace integrity, respect for the law, community service, and patriotism, development becomes not just possible, but inevitable.
A nation rises when its citizens rise. It falls when its citizens withdraw or retreat into apathy. In all of this, responsive leadership and followership with responsibility are necessary.
Participants were unanimous that the new initiative, when channeled to the right audience using the right platforms, will reignite patriotism and engender development. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Let's take a pause for some messages. We'll be back with more news. Stay with us.
Legendary final sale of the year is here. This festive season, enjoy extra savings on luxury and comfortable sofa sets, modern and functional dining sets, sophisticated and smart bed sets, and our royal collections. Classy, premium, and truly exclusive. Shop 10 million Naira and receive a complimentary Daisy tea set. Spend 15 million and take home a 65-inch smart TV. Go higher at 20 million and experience unmatched comfort with our exclusive massage chair. Visit our showrooms in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Enugu, or shop online. It's big, it's bold, it's unforgettable. It's Baffy Furniture's legendary final sale of the year.
And the National Productivity Order of Merit Award goes to the only tomato paste manufacturer to win the National Productivity Order of Merit Award by the Federal Government of Nigeria, endorsed by the Association of Private Medical Practitioners of Nigeria. This is an evidence of 100% natural goodness, great quality, and great taste. So eat healthy to live longer. Use Erisco tomato paste and products. 100% natural tomato. Better food now, correct. Buy now and enjoy up to 20% discount. Erisco tomato paste, taste of
Feel the power of precision, engineered to perfection. Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African roads.
This is NTA News 24.
The Director General of the Salute Nigeria Initiative and coordinator of the Nigerian German Investments and Culture Expo, Ambassador Chelo Ojirika, has signed a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) with Patrick, Chairman of the Pets Fernandez Foundation, to promote development in healthcare services, youth empowerment, and education across the country. Suleiman Abdul Wahab reports.
Speaking during the signing ceremony, Ambassador Ojirika encouraged more Nigerian students to take advantage of opportunities to study various undergraduate courses in India. He noted that members of the first batch of students who traveled in 2021 are now working and living both in Nigeria and in abroad.
The Pets Fernandez Foundation is using its international affiliations to get job opportunities for Nigerian youths internationally. In Europe, for example, Denmark, Poland, Germany.
The advocacy team further revealed that through their partners' offices in Poland, Germany, Italy, and Denmark are expanding employment pathways for Nigerian youth, particularly in fields that match their areas of specialization.
What we require is to expose the talented Nigerian youth. There's a lot of talent in Nigeria. I love them because I engage them. All the work in terms of the Catholic Church now, in terms of stained glass. Before you talk of stained glass, before it was Italy. You see some beautiful, experienced Nigerian entrepreneurs.
They stressed that the program aligned strictly with federal government's development vision and that all participants will be registered at Nigerian embassies in their destinations countries. In Abuja, Suleiman Tobu Abdul Wahab, NTA News.
Talking politics now, Yusuf Dantale of the Allied People's Movement have been re-elected as the national chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council at an election held at its national headquarters in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports that IPAC is the umbrella body of the all registered political parties in Nigeria.
APC to follow behind.
The return of National Chairman of Allied People's Movement, APM, Yusuf Maman Dantale, as the IPAC chairman followed a unanimous vote after the only opposition to his return stepped down. Chairman of the Electoral Committee, Dan Wayawu, declared the election result with the elected officials now to pilot the affairs of the council for another 2 years.
Dr. Yusuf Dantale was elected unanimously. He is now the new national chairman of IPAC.
IPAC election has always been riddled with rancor, but here you have something different, that candidates on their own volition withdrew from the race, not because they were induced, nothing, they did it. So what that means is that we have been able to give leadership to the people.
The Deputy National Woman Leader of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Zainab Ibrahim, also emerged as the Deputy National Chairperson, while Maxwell Mbudem emerged as the National Secretary. Miriam Garba was elected as Deputy National Secretary, and Dikpo Olayokun emerged as National Treasurer. Chinyere Oge Kalu emerged as the new National Organizing Secretary, and Umar Muhammad was elected as National Financial Secretary, while Egbeola Wale Martins and Obed Agu emerged as National Publicity Secretary and National Legal Advisor, respectively. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Nigeria is driving sustainable healthcare financing strategies by reinforcing legal protections and securing stronger leadership commitment at the subnational level, placing domestic resource mobilization for primary healthcare at the center of reforms aimed at reversing the country's troubling cycle of poor health outcomes. Others formed the crux of discussions at the Immunization Financing Champions Summit in Abuja, convened by the House Committee on Healthcare Services in collaboration with the Vaccine Network for Disease Control and other health partners. The meeting, which brought together chairpersons of health committees from state houses of assembly and key players in the national immunization program, seeks to ensure that efforts at the national level, particularly around domestic funding for vaccines and primary health care, are fully replicated across the subnationals, as Nigeria continues to grapple with rising maternal and infant mortality.
Have this discussion to ensure that the money that is being appropriated from the federal government, the counterpart funding from the state will also come and augment what the federal government is doing. Above that, or the money is not the most important thing even, but to ensure that whatever it is appropriated, it's well utilized and channeled well.
The federal government has been the one only paying for all the vaccines. It shouldn't be. States should contribute to it. In addition, the federal government is giving 1% of its resources to primary health care. States are not paying their counterpart. So the key thing about this is that states need to put together sustainable and reliable resources.
Looking at a constitutional amendment, which is an ambitious one for us, but that covers everything. We will have 1% of the federation account dedicated to health.
The federal government and its ministries, departments and agencies have been asked to pay more attention to marginalized groups that are underrepresented in the clusters of persons living with disabilities. At an advocacy dialogue organized by the Inclusive Friends Association and National Association of Persons with Disabilities in Abuja, speakers called for a critical review of the Disability Act to accommodate marginalized clusters. Some of the marginalized clusters were identified to include persons who are deaf, those with psychological disabilities, and individuals with intellectual disabilities.
Underrepresented communities, and to also look at interventions, like I mentioned, that are specific to the needs of these underrepresented groups.
We're speaking specifically to women who have deafness, women with psychosocial disabilities and intellectual disabilities. If accommodation is made for them, if the system is adjusted to seek their needs and incorporate them intentionally, then of course we'll have a better Nigeria.
Interestingly, there's already a policy for inclusive education, but the enforcement of that policy for all schools to be compliant is the issue. For psychosocial disability, the major priority is enforcement of the law, which is the Mental Health Act.
The disability groups validated the political, economy, and gender analysis, a document recommending disability inclusion as not just a right, but a governance priority. And that is it on the news. Thank you for being part of it. I am Comfort Fashim.